Alright guys, straighten up and fly right. How's everybody? Well, I've had a long day junkyarding and I've stayed at it until I just about give out and had to come home. So I thought I'd show you what I hauled in today, and actually going to go back for another run, not next week, maybe next weekend. But I put the old Chev in service today, gave it its first work assignment. I put about 100 miles on it, I guess, running around. Did just fine, and of course it drank up $20 worth of gas doing so, but that's to be expected. It's got a little bit of something's a little feels a little rough in there. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that it's got a bad wheel bearing, because I can hear it roar a little bit at certain speeds, and it's probably, that truck's kind of loud anyway, you know, so it's probably a lot louder than I think it is. But I've heard the drive shaft clank a couple times when I put it in reverse, so that may bear checking into a little bit more. May have a universal joint that's dried out or something, but overall completely satisfied with it. This truck's actually more solid than I thought it was. It's a nice driver, drives good. It's got 276 gears in it, so it's real. It just cruises at 65 or 70, just easy as could be. We had one of these that had 373s in it. Man, it's not, with a 3-speed automatic, that's unbearable. I hate it. But okay, well, I'm about $140 into parts for this Focus here, so show you what I got. Now, I already made a video with the first Junkyard, so you already saw the fan, the blower motor, and one of these, and the vent, and those two things, those two inserts for the console, that vent, that front. But I got some more stuff, and those coil packs. These are not for it; those are that's for the Infinity over there. So I went on to LKQ over there on the other side of Huntsville and started gathering some parts up. And I tell you what, that's Focus Wonderland over there. There's probably a dozen in there. So I got easily enough stuff, as long as I have enough money. I got enough cars over there to just rebuild this thing. So that's good. So I went ahead and started collecting my parts up. But I realized that I didn't have enough tools with me. And what I do is I gather up, I don't want to haul my big toolbox around, so I gather up this little portable toolbox that is actually a real cheap caddy from the dollar store, and put everything I think I'll need in there and carry with me that way. But the problem is that I try to do this after I first wake up and get out and get dressed, and I'm so groggy that I forget stuff every time. So I got in there and I started messing around with some stuff, and I was looking for a spare wheel for this truck because I don't have a spare at all. So I was trying to, I found one. I'll show you there in the back. You probably just saw it actually, but yeah, I can go ahead and show it to you now. No secret. This, and it's not the best, but it's good for a spare. I wanted this because it's a closely matching wheel, and it had that center cap that this truck is missing, so that worked out great. That came off a van. And you'll notice this is a 7-inch wheel. If you ever notice the difference between the vans, like the G vans usually have 7-inch rally wheels on them, and this truck has 8-inch. You see the wheel's deeper, so that's how you tell. They still take the same size factory tire, 235, 75, 15. So started trying to take this thing off, and in my half asleep state of mind, I put it in the right size socket to get it off, which was a 13/16, but I only put a 3/8 socket in there. I have this big bar here that I use to remove stuff like the wheel lugs, because a real mechanic doesn't use a lug wrench. And so as it ended up, I was trying to take it off with my regular old 3/8 ratchet here. So I ended up snapping off two of my fairly new Harbor Freight extensions. So at that point I said, well, that's not going to work. So I had to get in and put my parts up somewhere, securely and get in the truck and come all the way back home and get more tools, everything I thought I needed, because I'd also forgot all my small little 1/4 inch sockets and stuff like that. So always some insect flying around out here. What do they want? They're trying to take over. Trying to build a nest. That truck hadn't sat there 15 minutes already trying to build a nest in it. Anyway. So came all the way back home and got that, and went all the way back over there and got down to business then. So what I got the second time around is, this thing is a hold down. This is the battery hold down. It bolts on the front end, goes over the battery, and clips in at the back on the bracket back there. And I've never seen something like this, but every one of them had it. So got that. I got this wheel cap for the one that's missing. These are some little clips that hold the cooling lines and stuff like that. And that thing has got a big vacuum line running around the front of it. It's actually supposed to be retained in these clips, so that's what those are for. This is the retainer for the prop rod. I've got another one of these flimsy visors. I got this gear shift indicator, and the one on that car, for whatever reason, where the letters are, it's all you can see light coming through, and that irritates me to no end. I can't stand that, so that's have to go away. So that thing, I got over there and I realized that I'll be doggone, the doggone handle for the gear shift in there has to have an Allen wrench to get it off. So I thought, well, I'm in a junkyard, I'm not about to have to be stopped by that. So I just took both hands and grabbed the doggone shifter handle and gave it a twist. And about the second time around, it snapped and came right off, so I got that off easy. And you already saw the brake pedal pad, that one's missing. How did that happen? I don't know. The antenna, I didn't have that one on the first one. It's missing as well. But you know what? I have an idea about that. I looked at 2 of those antennas trying to get a good one that looked good, and both of them were just hand tight, so there must be something about those that they kind of unscrew themselves or something. I don't know. But I got a wiper arm, and the interesting thing about this, why I had to get a wiper arm, was that I was over here washing the car the other day, yesterday, and I noticed when I picked this wiper arm up, ding, 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 there's no spring in there whatsoever. It's gone. So there's this thing that's gone. So, and so I got that. And also, I got looking at cars in the junkyard, foci in the junkyard, and I think I realize now what was going on with these wiper blades. I said somebody put the wrong size on it. Well, I think what they did was that's the one that goes on the left. The long one goes on the left side and the short one goes on the right side. So it's one of those really tough things to figure out. You can't figure it out. It's fine. It's fine. Just leave it. It wipes rain off the windshield. Just leave it. It's fine. So anyway, got a wiper arm off that's got a spring in it. How did that break? I don't even see how that would be possible for that to break. Okay. I got this thing because, oops, I had to make another trip if I break that. Get this thing because the one in there has got a whole bunch of white water spots on it. So I ain't gonna be sitting up in that car, be looking at water spots all day long. So I got that off, and this just comes right off. This thing, it's just got a couple, 3-4 clips right here that you just carefully loosen and slip it off, and that's how it comes off. So formats, you saw those. Now look at this. This is one of my crowning achievements at the junkyard. Been looking for a radio, and saw a couple, but most of them are gone. But then I just kept going around and going around and going around, and I came up with this jewel. This is a Ford radio, but it's a Blaupunkt. You see the name right there. CD player. It looks like it's in good shape. Got whatever AM, FM, CD, MP3, CDC. I don't know what CDC is, but it's made in Portugal. I guess that's an MP3 player. So good deal. Works for me. And here's another. Yeah. Let's see. It's got the date of manufacture on here. What is the date? It says it's on the side label. Let me see. Yeah, I can't make it out, but it looked like it was a factory radio in the car, because I saw another one in there that had the same radio, but it was busted. So anyway, let's hope this works, and let's hope I can wire it up. It's got the plugs. I've got the plugs with it, but I'm scared to know what's behind that radio in there. So okay, I'm $140 worth into parts, and it's supposed to rain tomorrow, and so that's fine. But what I'm gonna do now is, well, what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna put that stuff in the car in the back and store it in there, and then I'm gonna change out that coil pack on that car and hope that fixes it. If it doesn't, I guess I'll have to take the spark plug out and close the gap up a little bit on it so it works again. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the seats and the carpet out of this car here, and I'm going to put them in the back of the truck and take them to the nearest dumpster and dump them in and replace them, because that Mad Max Thunderdome Junkyard you saw this morning has got a car up there that's got the whole nice interior in it. So heck with that. I'm not going to deal with all those worn out seats. There must have been a couple heavyweights had this car. You know, and I'm not, you know, I know people that are large people and are always going to be large people, and I'm not going to bash large people, but it's just a fact of life. Large people, especially a smaller car like this one, they're just rough on it. They're rough on the seats and the interior, and you know, they have trouble getting their feet picked up and legs picked up out of the car and all that, pulling and stuff. And so that's why a lot of this stuff, like the plastics and the seats, just get trashed in there, you know. And that's, I don't want to ever hear somebody that's large complain about their back hurting, because you know, if you're that much weight and you do that to a car seat, you can imagine the stress in your spine. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear anybody complain about back or knees or feet. You know, if I weighed 330 pounds, I'd say, yeah, well, they deserve to hurt carrying all this around. But, you know, I'm not saying, I know there's large people, and I'm not hating on large people. I'm just telling the truth. I'm just telling the truth. You got to listen to the truth sometimes. So, okay, guys, I'm getting really hungry, and I'm nasty dirty. Got my old dirty clothes on, so I'm going to get this stuff done and take a good long shower, and then I'm going to go eat some good Mexican food. And I got one of my old stores that I used to work when I was back on a sales route before I moved up a year and a half ago, called me and asked me to come help them with inventory for a little bit this evening. So I guess I've got to go do that for them. So that's my day. So anyway, hope you enjoy the videos, and there's always something going on here. Always into something. So, but I was going to tell you all something interesting also. These you know, Lyle the smoker's got his house for sale over there, and there's the sign down again, just like I said, just exactly like I said. But anyway, he's got his house for sale, and they don't live there. They're moved totally out. There's nothing in this house. It's empty, totally empty. I've seen pictures of it. It's totally 100% empty. So I had to go out to the grocery store last night, so I came home and I pulled the car up in the driveway, and of course I had the headlights on, and in their driveway over there sat Lyle's well, Mrs. Smoker's car. She's got a little Honda Accord, kind of like the one I had for a little bit there. Sitting there in the driveway, and the door's open, the passenger side door's open. Somebody's in there. I didn't look long enough to see if it was Lyle, but so I just wanted to cut the headlights off. I was trying not to blind them, and so that car sat here all night with them there. They didn't leave. I heard somebody talking a couple times, and then it was all quiet. No loud noises or anything. But I went to bed last night about midnight, and it was there. And then sometime before I got up early this morning, it was gone. So I've seen other people. His brother has come down here and sat in the driveway for a couple hours, just sat there. And I went over, actually met him, and he's a nice guy, more talkative than Lyle is. And boy, Lyle and his wife showed up then, and boy, he had something not too nice to say about Lyle's wife. But anyway, I've heard that, I think I know what this is all about, because I've heard that Lyle the smoker and his wife both glug, 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 a lot. That's just like my parents used to do. You know, they held it together during the week and worked at the government jobs and did good on their jobs. And I'm telling you what, when it got to be the weekend, buddy, it was game on. So I think that's part of what this is all about. I've heard rumors said that if they don't sell this house soon, that they may have to move back. I'm like, oh, I hope not. But anyway, I don't mean to talk stuff I don't know much about. That's just kind of weird. The whole family's weird. His mother and father come down here in their car, and they're nice people. They're older people. And they pull their car in the yard, and then they drive it into the garage and close the garage door and stay in there for a couple hours. I don't know. What is this, an orgy house or something? Weird, man. It's weird. No, I know what it is. It's not weird. It's just that I'm too normal. That's my problem. All right, guys. We'll see you around. Have a good one.